Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and the question on everybody's mind is, will Wizards of the Coast have the balls to try to pull off another Mythic Edition product? I guess you would say number 4. I almost doubt it would be core set M20 because it's such a boring set. But then again, what did the 8 promo cards have to do with the last 3 sets they were in? Would they throw in 2? So regardless of when, will they even try to do it at all? Quick review for those of you who weren't paying close attention to this the first time. Okay, Mythic Edition 1. They tried to sell it through Hasbro's toy website, even though everybody on planet Earth for like a month leading up to it said it's going to crash. You guys have launched like other stuff, like I think Transformers stuff and other collectibles, and that was enough to crash it. You think like 100,000 Magic players aren't going to crash it. And then the day of, it crashed. But the e-commerce part worked because that's offsite. So people were getting billed like 7 times, which means your credit card or debit card got hit for like over $2,000. In some cases, that was a very big issue. And also some of those people who were charged like 7 times didn't get anything at all. And so then they sent out the box toppers, those blue packs. They were from Ultimate Masters and they were worth an average of $100 a piece. So people were like, oh, okay. Most people were cool about it, but they did not like, in the first place, that they sold Mythic Edition completely cutting out the local stores, because that's ridiculous. Nothing made that better, and then like the price tag and just the greed of the product design, people had nothing nice to say about that. Well, nothing changed in the future with that, so still pretty negatively seen by a large portion of the community. So number 2 launches, and because number 1 did, it was popular, and I guess it sold out pretty quick, I guess you would say. Hard to say with all the server issues, but I mean, they knew what kind of volumes hit it and how many attempts there were to purchase it, so I guess they're like, oh, okay, cool, let's run 20,000 this time. The assumption is that this was a higher number than the first time, but I don't know if it was ever confirmed what the first run was. I think it was 10,000, but I'm not sure if Wizards ever confirmed that. So they went with 20,000, and then a couple minutes in, yeah, some sold. Okay, cool. I mean, they put like good cards in it. It was a worthwhile product. It was worth more than the price tag, but not by like an astronomical margin. And then an hour turned into 2 hours, turned into 4 hours, and I think even the next morning it wasn't sold out. Ouch. So it would appear that Wizards edited the eBay listing to lower the amount by 2,000 4 times. And then they're like, yay, it sold out. And then theoretically, they just recycled or like burned the remaining 8,000 and never sent them out. So it was overprinted. It could be argued under value put in it. I don't know about that personally. But they couldn't convince more than 12,000 people to buy it. And even that took more than, well, we'll say 5 minutes because it took a day. Third time around, they're like, okay, I guess 12,000 is the mark. Oh, and FYI, we're like almost doubling the value of it. So they put Jason Ugin in it. People get way too excited about that. And it sells out in, I don't know, depends who you ask and where you live. Somewhere between 1 and 4 minutes. Wizards completely throws eBay under the bus for selling products that weren't there. Like they were already sold. Like it was a listing synchronization glitch. And then anybody with a brain throws Wizards under the bus because eBay didn't relist that listing 30 minutes later. There's no way they did that. That had to have been a human controlling it. It had to have been a Wizards employee. It has to have been. That's how eBay works. eBay does not relist 40,000 of something for you, okay? That doesn't happen. Maybe a human misinterpreted what they saw on the screen, and I'm not going to go into why I think that is, but basically, Wizards is trying to offload this as, oh, this is 100% eBay's problem. Oh, it's totally their fault, and then they screw up everything. There's a class action lawsuit because once they've said, okay, your payment is here, we agree to send you this product, and then they don't do it. If you get a financial loss as the result of that, which is the difference in value, obviously, if you intended to resell it, they're liable. Any perceived or actual eBay glitch complicates things, but they at least have grounds for a lawsuit, and the lawsuit is being worked on. Oh, and thank you very much for the 2 people from the law firm who got in contact with me. I appreciate that a lot. They knew who to go to for real coverage. They knew where the real community's at. It ain't frickin' Reddit, I'll tell you that. So, what would they do for the 3rd time? Is there a way to actually do this? Because I think if they do it again, my guess would be that they're going to take another wild guess in the dark and try to run off 15,000 maybe, or they'll just keep the value about the same. They'll shoot for 5, 6, 700 day 1 EV and then run like 20,000 off, which might last 3 minutes instead of 1. I mean, they don't know, I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows. Okay, that's why it's a shot in the dark. That's why the second edition was such garbage. 20,000 was too much. Nobody really knows exactly precisely why. But I do know that it's the same as Ultimate Masters all over again. When you lower the numbers from 20,000 to 12,000 for the third one, and then also up the value, you really shouldn't do both. I mean, this is like the old A+ certification training class I had in like my junior year of high school. If you want to witness and assess a problem or a difference or a cause and effect, don't change two variables. Never change two variables. You will get exponentially increased unpredictable results. And unpredictable results either make the product look like crap and crash, or it makes eBay crash, I guess you would say. So I'm going to skip over for now what I realistically think they're going to do, and let's look for like why should they never do it ever again, and why should they do it again. Let's start with the easy one. Why should they do it again? It's a popular product. It has a positive connotation in people's heads, at least from a value and resale standpoint, I guess. And that's it. That is literally it. That is the only reason I can think of to do it again, is it's a popular product that's sold well 2 out of 3 times. I mean, you don't take your most popular product and cut it off, except for From the Vault and Masters, which they did because they're idiots. Okay, so why shouldn't they do this again? 1, it grossed $3 million. Okay, not after expenses, shipping, production, printing, delivery, eBay fees, staff time, art contracts, nothing, none of that. It literally grossed $3 million. So on a good day, it probably profited them $2 million. Like, and even that, I think it's lower. I think it's closer to like 1.5, but I don't know. Really hard to say. Look, if you look at Ultimate Masters, nobody knows what the print run was, but just ballpark, like absolute ballpark, it profited them, not grossed, profit. The net profit from the product was likely between $50 and $100 million. So I mean, on the high end, $2 million in profit versus $100 million in profit. So they'd have to run off 50 Mythic Editions to make the same amount of profit as one Master set. At that point, $2 million ain't worth the headaches, the lawsuits, the PR, none of that. It just is. It is a tiny, tiny amount of money. But I will say, compared to like, probably some intellectual property contracts, licensing deals, like 2 mobile apps, card sleeves. Who else did they license to? Not much, actually. More lately, but not much. Honestly, the IP for a movie is probably $1 to $5 million, and they couldn't get that together. There might be a Netflix show coming out, though. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I think it was like literally just like a trademark filing, and that was it. So, I mean, we'll see if it goes to production, but then again, Netflix will produce anything. But that would be more like an advertising opportunity than like, oh, look at this big expensive IP. I mean, people weren't even sure if like World of Warcraft should be a movie, like if that would really fly or not. And that MMO had one of the biggest player bases of all time. So I think they'd make less than $1 million on a Netflix show, probably closer to like 100,000, where at that point it's like, just do it. Just maybe it'll make people play Arena. Like it's just a giant ad. It legitimately could have been free. Like no joking. They could have just went to Netflix and said, do you want to make a popular IP? We'll give it to you for free. And then you look at like shirts and like binders and I don't know, like all this merchandise and stuff. That's gotta be under $1 million, I would think, or not much more than it. So like as far as big products versus small products, Mythic Edition would have been the king of the small products. So lately they're putting a lot of effort into why don't we monetize our brand more? So they allegedly still have a MOBA coming out, a mobile MOBA. That'll be fun. Oh, MOBAs are basically League of Legends, and they're not called MOBAs. Okay, I'm an original StarCraft 1 custom map player. It's called a Tug of War, okay? Anyway, they're still making that, and how much could they possibly have charged to license that? It's probably just a royalties, like, commission thing. Then, like I said, the Netflix thing, and then they're doing a water park, which is more Hasbro's idea, but okay. By the way, if any of this is all news to you, you might want to subscribe to my channel. This ain't the first time I've made entire videos about this stuff. Okay, then we had Puzzle Quest, then we had that absolute garbage, like, trading card nonsense, just disaster that's coming out, or already came out, who cares, it's trash. Then we got the Cryptic Studios MMO coming out. So they're deciding, like, each one of these deals was probably give or take $1 million tops, or some kind of just really low royalty commission thing, like just 10% across the board, I don't know. But in their opinion, small projects like this should be something they go after. Just like, why don't we want another million? And I think it's because, Journey into Nyx fell flat on his face. Corset 2019 sold like garbage. I think my distributor still has some in stock. Why did they bring it back? Well, certainly not for money, because they didn't make any. And, the 4 sets that came out after Aether Revolt, all 4 sold like garbage because of Aether Revolt. So I guess they're thinking, if we can't rely on standard to reliably make money and make predictable, consistent sales, because some sets are good and some sets are terrible, like as far as competing in the meta, we might as well have a cushion of licensed out stuff. Plus they realize that, it might get people playing Arena or the paper card game if they hear about it and see a movie about it and see a mobile game about it. So in that context, a 1 to 2, maybe 2.5 on a good day, $1 million product, would they really want to drop it? It's still so much less than they make on the other products. Like, it's not like, oh, it's a quarter as much, but it's worth it. It's like, 1/50th as much? But they have smaller projects than this that they're still working on. So that one I'm on the fence about, like if it's a worthwhile amount of money. But in my business knowledge and financial opinion, no. I mean, even the amount that Conspiracy 2 and Unstable took in above this product it's gotta be 5 to 10 times at least. So another reason not to do it is they're potentially getting sued in a class action lawsuit for screwing it up so badly. Another reason not to do it is where the hell would they hold it then? I mean, on eBay again and just make 50,000 this time to cover your butt, and then oopsies, it didn't sell like the second one, or just make it less valuable and cross your fingers. I mean, either way, the probability of it landing right in the middle where it sells out in like 30 minutes, everybody has a fair chance at it, but then it sells out, maintains value, everybody's happy. That's so unlikely. It's either going to not sell or it's going to sell in a minute and people are going to be pissed. It's going to be the same thing over again. And they don't have a way to do that. They don't have a platform to sell it on. And that's really the number one reason not to do it again, is they do not have a stable, reliable platform to do this on. With one exception. They really do have a platform to sell it on. And let's look at From the Vault, which usually ran off, I think, 10 to 20,000 copies. It's basically the same product. And they were distributed exclusively to stores via the WPN program based on what level 1 through 4 on the old scale that the stores were at. And stores would get like, I hate to even throw out a number, but I think like the lowest tiers would get like 8. I mean, it was like that few. And then the highest tiers would get like 20 or 30. I mean, even that doesn't add up because I know worldwide there are around 6,000 WPN locations. And we'll just say like 1,000 of them are tier 1, so they get nothing. And tier 2, 3, 4 were the only ones that got something. If they ran off 10,000 and there's 5,000 left, that's only 2 per store on average. But I know they sent out more. But according to like the wiki pages, they printed only 10,000 of some from the vault. So I don't know how that worked. Nor would I know how that works if they do it that way now. Because now there are no levels. And there are still about, I think, 6,400-ish, if you really add them all up, not counting ones that closed in the last 1.5 to 2 years. But that's the number of worldwide WPN locations. So if you send them out in even distribution of 12,000 of this Mythic Edition product, that's only 2 per store. That's not enough. But then again, if you announce we're running off 50,000 of these all of a sudden, well, 20,000 was too many when you tried that on eBay. So how would they possibly do it? How would they use the local gaming stores as distribution? And plus, if they do, right off the bat, by them selling to a distributor who then sells it to a store who then sells it to you, they make, on a good day, half. I mean, whatever they're selling it for, they now get half because that's what they charge the distributor. I think it's less than half. Like if it's $250 a box, they're probably charging the distributor between like $1 and $115. It's somewhere in that neighborhood, most likely. Once again, that's a tightly held secret, but that's what it's suspected to be ballpark. I think on some products it might be as high as 60% though, because of like weight and margin and stuff. So selling it on eBay, like running it in-house and then having Hasbro and then eBay's international shipping program handle all of it and then just do their own fulfillment. Even after like eBay fees, PayPal fees and all that crap, they probably lost maybe 15% and the rest was all profit in their pockets, minus the lawsuit. So they just, by sending it to stores, they'd be giving up like 30% of the profits. Wow. On an already small, questionable product. Not smart. So like I said, they'd have to go from 12,000 up to like 50,000. Well, still 50,000 divided by, we'll say 5,000 qualifying stores, it's still 10 apiece. I mean, 10 per store, still not that many. I think they could pull it off, but this time around selling 12,000, I think that 75% or more of the people buying it were buying it specifically to resell it, either on the small scale because they thought they could, or like large scale investors who are using Smurf accounts and buying like 20. I think that's where the majority, if not the vast overwhelming majority of them went. So how many real actual customers are there? Because people walking into local gaming stores and paying like sales tax and paying full-blown MSRP and all that, I don't know. Are they really investors? Like, is somebody going to drive around to 9 different stores and just buy them out? And most stores will put a restriction on it, by the way. So my point is, would investors still buy it if there was 50,000 copies in existence and that's what they announced? That's how many they announced that they are making. That's almost 5 times more. I think investors and resellers wouldn't touch it at all. So on top of that 75% of the market gone, now you have 50,000 of them to get rid of. So I don't think it would work. So like I said, what do? Send each shop 2? Send each shop 10? You really almost can't distribute this product through stores. It just wouldn't work. So what is the last option? Find another third-party vendor fulfillment center website, whatever, e-commerce portal, some kind of cloud service, and do it the way pretty much everybody else does it, which is a lottery system where you say, okay, if you're interested, put $10 down so that we know your credit card's on file. We'll hold your credit card on file. If you win, we will charge your credit card that's on file. And then, maybe refund the $10 or $10 in-store credit or, $20 arena credit with, something whatever for the people who don't make it. And then you give people like a month to join the pool. So 30,000 people sign up saying, I'll take 2. Okay, for math's sake, we'll say 1. I mean, obviously they'd let it be 2, but, and then you pick, let's say 15,000 of them because you run off 15,000 this time. So everybody has a 50-50 chance, perfectly equal. You don't have to go in the middle of your workday or take the day off or have a hyper-fast computer set an alarm in your phone to wake up in the middle of the night if you live in Europe or Asia. And then, I hope I can click within 10 seconds and type in my credit card information. That's stupid, okay? Give people a month, let everybody just get in the pool, and then just start flipping coins and doing random numbers. And then you either get sorry, we randomly assigned the product, like completely at random to people in the pool. You didn't make it, or you did make it, or whatever. You got a whole dang month to sign up whenever you want. I mean, that's so much more fair, and a lottery system is how a lot of these products are sold. In fact, at my old LGS, this is how they did from the vault. They said for about a couple weeks at F&M ahead of time, they said, if you're interested, put your name in a bowl. And we'll, when we get in like 8 from the vaults or whatever, we'll pull like 4 of them per F&M. And then you'll have the opportunity to buy it, which it's like, oh, wow, an opportunity to buy something. But like people recognize it for what it was. Oh, and also they sold it at MSRP, which I think was $34.99. They knew they would look bad if they sold it for close to internet price, even though that's fair and you literally can't get it that cheap anywhere else. But adding a lottery system to that too, they were just like, let's make it feel like more of a prize and we'll just straight up sell it to the person for $35. We don't care if they keep it or flip it on the internet for like $110, because some of those from the vaults went like really high. And everybody was like, this is fair. And if they somehow had a really bad from the vault, like that destruction explosion one that should have had damnation in it but didn't, I think was worth about $2 under MSRP on launch day. I think they only had like 12 people interested and they only got 12 in, so they didn't even have to draw the names. They just told the people to pick it up. And then I think 2 people changed their mind. So yeah, a lottery system is fair. It's like over time and it's controlled. It doesn't crash any servers. It just works. It's just who would they get to do it? So, I mean, should they do it that way? I mean, my opinion, should they even do this again at all? No, they shouldn't. They should absolutely give up. And they're probably, if they do, they're going to double down and say, oh, it was only a Ravnica product, even though I think they made statements exactly like to the opposite of that. I mean, they've only done it for the 3 Ravnica sets. Now that we're moving off Ravnica, they can say, oh no, that was only a Ravnica thing. We're not doing Mythic Edition for anything else. Never intended to. But if they do it, they're going to have to do it through random lottery. It's the only way to make it fair and make it work. The only problem is people got all the time in the world to register 10,000 different accounts with different emails and throwaway email accounts. But if you tie it to like a payment system, like a PayPal account or a credit card, I mean, yeah, between all my credit and debit cards, I probably got 6 of them, but... And let's just say there are services out there that let you use auto-generated cards that are single use, and you could set up like 100 of them and then use like a Mailinator subdomain and sign up with multiple email addresses, and ta-da, you've got 100 entries. I mean, it's almost better to just give people 60 seconds to buy it and that's that, but you guys saw what happened this time. So that's why, in my opinion, they shouldn't do this at all. It's still exploitable. But then again, you got to get them shipped to the same location. So like if they really cared about non-duplicates going out and they've got all the time in the world ahead of time, they could be like, okay, different name, different email, different credit card, but they're all shipping to the same address. Boom, kill it. Cancel the order before the month is even up and before you even do the lottery. I mean, they could even have a human look over it for any kind of patterns or similarities. So it would be complicated and risky, especially to make, a couple $1 million, which is not that much money to them. But if they were to do it again, that's how I would do it. I mean, I can't think of a better way to do it. But if you guys have a better way to do it, I'd love to hear about it. I mean, you guys do collectibles and hobby stuff and limited edition stuff with other products from other companies. How do they do it? Like, is there an established way and Wizards was just too stupid to look around and see how other people do it? Do you think they're going to move from just eBay to Amazon and hope Amazon servers are better? By the way, Amazon doesn't do international fulfillment on their own, as far as I know. So then they'd have to factor in, okay, we're going back to US only. What's that going to do? And then scalpers would be like, ooh, international, and they'd try to smurf it. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think they should go to Amazon. And even like mass drop isn't the right format. So yeah, I can't even name a provider that would do this, but honestly, they could almost just write it themselves, which that scares me because their programmers are idiots. But assuming they found a host, a platform to do some kind of little limited giveaway thing, that deduplicates properly and just does the whole thing for them, I think that would probably be an acceptable way to do this, and they could keep the product going that way in the future for quite a while. Other than that, I mean, what else do we have? San Diego Comic-Con, show up in person or you don't get it crap, which that goes over real well. And people totally didn't hire homeless people to run in and pretend to be somebody else and buy it. That's just such a dumb idea. So that's why I think it's just worth giving up on. But, well, at least hopefully this video gave you hope that they might not screw it up. They might just do a nice, fair lottery system and be done with it. But what do you think? Should they even bother doing it again? Do you want to see it again? Do you like the product? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.